Welcome in, everybody. Danger Zone episode 10. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, 8, 9, 10. Top 10 episode coming your way right now. We got Jay Charles at my left, Sharpie down bottom, underneath me.
What's
How
going
are we,
on,
boys?
guys? Good to be here. Another week, another
Danger Zone.
Another
exactly.
show.
Let's go.
Just before we were talking about if anyone's had like a little fake laugh, and James gave like a little. Can you do it again? And Aaron was going on about like how he says that like after everything, or like he's like a response to everything. He's like gives a little fake laugh. And I had this friend growing up. She's not with us anymore, unfortunately. But she's like a like family figure anyway. And she had the best fake laugh ever. And I thought that after every single one of my jokes or a story that I would tell, that she just like she thought it was funny, but that was just her fake laugh coming out. And I'd known her my whole life, and I only realized when I was 16 or 17, all throughout my childhood and everything, when I tell these jokes, that she'd give the fake laugh, and I thought she was serious. So when you were just going on before,
like comedic confidence.
yeah, literally when I heard that, I'm just like, you fucking bitch! Like, how did I not know this whole time? And apparently, like everyone else, kind of knew that she did this little fake laugh thingy apart from me. So yeah, I don't know.
That's like it's nice, but it's like it wasn't a fake laugh. It's just her response. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that was it. I'm hoping that was the case, but yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That would like really mess up like your sense of humor. Like you think you're killing it, and then you
Yeah.
just be you just be like dropping bombs,
But-
and like everyone's like, why is everyone laughing?
But it was a nice thing because no one else would normally laugh because it'd be one of my average jokes, and then she'd come in and do the fake laugh and then make me feel better. So I think she was doing that because she realized that no one else was going to give her a response, and that's so much more better than just having a bit
That's
awkward
that's more of
silence.
a
Fake laugh has a massive part in society. You need to keep people's
Doesn't
spirits
it?
up. Keep them
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I do it so much at work actually now that I think about it. I'm so happy like the masks are on as well at my work. Don't have to smile. I just with my eyes like make them wrinkly. Makes me look,
So underneath the mask, you're not even smiling or anything. It's just the eyes
I'm
just
just the
going.
best. Yeah. It's just like yeah. And then I love what I always do. It's like when I like serve customers or talk to someone I don't really care about, work, small talk. It means almost nothing to me. But then as soon as I turn around or like they don't see me, like I'll be smiling and then I'll just be like back to dead face, serious.
The real me.
Just relax. Like, don't talk
Yeah,
to me.
every day.
I'm trying to work.
Every day I have to drive like 20, 30 minutes to the job sites normally. Like that's an average trip. And there could be like another worker in the car with me, or sometimes two. And just like, if I don't bring up anything, the car's too quiet, and like I just have to start that small talk because it just feels like everyone's in a bad mood,
Yeah.
just to start the
That
working
being,
day. And like,
yeah.
I wish someone else would just start it. Like, I know
Oh,
it's
really?
it's shit and you don't want to deal with it, but also I hate the silence because I feel like everyone in the vicinity of the cars is having a bad time.
Actually, yesterday at work, I was with my manager in the morning, and she's like, "Aaron, have you been to the one of the Let's Talk meetings?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Oh, great. Then you can go at 11." And I was like, "Okay." I was kind of freaking out because at my work, talk to everyone in the bakery. I can like start a conversation with them, but like outside of the bakery, I work in a big place with lots of other departments. There's a lot of people that I don't even know half their names, and it's like I was kind of nervous and freaking out. I went to the meeting because there's one person from every department. I was from the bakery, and then you got the manager there of the whole store, and he just starts like saying, "Oh, you guys gotta come up with some questions, just talk about anything, whatever." And he starts talking. He starts like trying to get a question out. Like some old lady has like a couple questions in a row, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, anyone else?" And then it's just like,
Silence. Yeah.
and it's so awkward, and like he's just sitting in it, and like it's like he loves it as well. He loves the awkward silence or something. And he's just sitting in it, and he's like saying nothing, and he's just looking at everyone like just dead. And I'm like, Oh my god,
Sorry, I put my
please think
hand
of a
up.
question. No. I thought of 2 questions, which I was pretty happy about. Half the people in there didn't say a single thing, and I was like, this is incredibly awkward. But I did actually like it because we got to eat some croissants and cookies. And I got
That's
paid for it.
exactly what. Sorry.
Yeah.
That is exactly why they do the whole awkward silence and roll with it, because it made you come up with 2 questions. So if they just wait half a second and then they're like, all right, moving on.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Presently.
100%.
But everyone's like, fuck, this is awkward. I need to find something to ask. Or someone will ask the question that they're doubting whether they can ask, I guess. I don't know.
I kept thinking of like personal things to ask him, like about his wife or something. Like, oh, are
How's
you
the
married?
kids?
Nah, I don't know. It was
Thinks you're flirting with him.
Hey, that wouldn't be too bad. Too bad.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Tell us about him.
He's got
Even
a
like
big salary.
even in like those big group scenarios where like, you know, everyone, like you're in a team environment, sort of like that. And I've had it with like footy clubs before. And like normally we'd go on like a camping trip or whatever. And then there's always like a bonding time where you might say like 2 truths and a lie or something like that. And you're going around the thingy. And then you hear someone else say something that's like really personal about themselves. And you were just going to talk about maybe like your job and like, oh, and I have 3 siblings. Who would have thought, you know? But like, and then someone else really opens up, and then you're like, holy shit,
I have
they
a
like
crippling
shared something
drug
cool with
addiction.
us. Yeah, I'm going to share something cool about myself now. Like, but you would never do that if you didn't hear someone else say that first, you know?
It's good, I guess. It's
Trailblazers.
good.
So I've come up with a few things as I normally do every week.
Yes, legend.
Now,
Preparing the podcast.
I had this written down for last week, but we didn't we were just flowing with other things, and I'm like, all right, I can save this for next week. Now, James, you were doing a nice deed for your lovely fiance, Paige, for her car, and she had a flat tire or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then you went and pumped up the tire or whatever, and on the way back, just nature called, and you had to drop a couple like farts on the way home.
Yep,
And you
thanks
were
for
like,
telling everyone.
yeah. So you were
Yeah.
like, so basically, you pumped up the tire for her or whatever, and dropped, I think, Eliza off at daycare, and then all of a sudden, nature called, and you went pop, 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 pop on the way home. But you felt bad about that, and I was just like, no, don't feel bad about that because her tire was flat for ages, and you've done her a good deed.
Wait.
I wouldn't,
Wait.
I wouldn't say
Hold
I
on.
felt bad about it at all. I was telling the boys, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Does the good deed outdo the bad deed?" Because I
I
was
reckon
like,
it does.
I've gone and filled up
Hold
the
on.
air in the tire, but I went back into the car afterwards and realized it smelled like a couple of dead
I got a
birds.
question. Are the seats like leather or fabric?
Fabric.
Okay, so you need to throw out the seats, is what you're saying. You completely.
soil.
There was
Seats.
fat in there, and I was like, does the good deed of pumping up her tire outdo the bad deed of just nuking her car?
Yes, it does.
Which I
Every
think
day of the
it
week.
does. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's not. That's natural, mate. That's natural.
Yeah.
Come on.
It was pretty bad, but she didn't say anything. So.
It's a solo fart.
Imagine her, say, like you were at work that day and she has to take Eliza to daycare, and then all of a sudden she's got a flat tire, you know, like, and then she's got to try and change a tire or something, like, you know, she's stuck on the side of the road. I reckon you've done the right thing. But that led me to believe, I don't know, it just got me to like thinking about partners and stuff and like what they do, what you do, and all that sort of stuff. And my question is, what's one thing that you wish your partner wouldn't spend money on? It's like there was something that they indulge in that you're like grinds your gears a little bit, you know?
All right, next
And-
topic.
Come on, no, with
nothing.
me,
My partner's let us spend money on whatever she would like.
Yeah. Yeah, she can buy anything she wants. It's all good. I probably have one, and I think I might know where you're going with it, Phil. From do you have one?
Yeah, I've got one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know where you were going.
No, like I think I know like what yours might be because of the
yeah.
interaction that I was.
Yeah.
Go on, man.
No, this is a trap. Who are you working for,
Trap.
Phil?
I'm not working for anyone. I'm just speaking truth.
I think the
speaking
girls
facts.
have gone to him.
No. So basically, my one was.
This is the danger zone.
It is
This
the danger zone.
is
We're
the danger
all the
zone.
minds.
Paige is
Well,
gonna watch this
hey,
later, and I'm
you know
gonna be
what?
very troubled.
We're gonna know if the girls watch the show after this, because then they'll come up to us.
That's a good point. I know Sophie
Yeah,
doesn't, but
Yeah, thankfully for me, she tends
yeah.
not to.
Tia might catch it live if she's able to, but she won't rewatch it. So more views on YouTube for us. But my one is Tia went and got a haircut, which was fine, and she wanted to dye her hair and everything. And this was a bit of money. She went to the good place to get a good job and did a good job. And then she told me a little fabrication that it was just and then they have to highlight it after a certain period of time, and then it's good. That's it. But what it basically was it wasn't just to re-highlight it after a certain period of time. It was like 6 to 8 weeks, like you do it again. And she said that was it to me. But realistically, what she wanted to do was to keep going every 6 to
Every
8
6 to 8.
weeks. So every 2 months, she wanted to keep going to the hairdressers, to the hairdressers, to the hairdressers.
It's like $300 when they get their hair done.
Yeah, so literally, she spent $600 on her hair in 2 months. And I'm just like, darling, like, you can pay, like, fair enough, but I'm not going out there $600 haircuts. Like, this is just
you just like
literally
shave the
live
side of my
stream
head
home
on
job.
stream.
But yeah, that's the thing. And then she owned up and she was like, no, oh, okay, I'll leave it for now. I'm like, I don't mind you keep doing it. Just we got friends that you can get that sort of stuff for a lot cheaper.
All right. Well, I have one, and it's kind of a cop out because it's like both of us. We spend way too much on takeaway.
Yeah, same.
But I do have one to single her out on. But this kind of makes me this just like proves that she's a better parent than I am. I feel like
I feel like this is gonna be
she gets
exactly
too
the same
much
as
for
me.
my kids.
Oh.
Like she just
Like
like
spoiling
spends
them,
too
or
much. Like
essential?
it's not spoiling. It's just like they don't know how good they get it from her. Like she'll just buy them like nice stuff, like a book here, oh, some more coloring, and it doesn't cost much money. Like it's a couple of dollars sometimes for like some coloring things, just some new things, but they have so much stuff. And like I just kind of look back at like when I was a kid, and I was like, man, like they got it so much better than me, and maybe I'm just resentful.
You're just jealous.
I'm just
Yeah, you're
jealous.
just jealous.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that doesn't, like, I wouldn't buy as much as she buys for them. But then again, if it was just me, like my kids would probably, we probably wouldn't survive if it wasn't for Soph. So that's all of us as well. But yeah.
Oh, for sure. Well, I'll preface mine with the first thing YouTube like should have said, that none of us can really say anything because in October I just spent like $4,000 on a PC and I'm constantly buying stuff for my PC. So it's a bit rich of us to even say anything. Paige is actually like being genuine. Paige doesn't really spend a lot of money on herself at all. Like I sort of push her to be like, you should get yourself things, you deserve it. But she like Aaron, we get a lot of food takeaway, like food delivery too, which is what adds up, where it's like, fuck, let's just go pick up the takeaway at least to save money. And she has a really, really bad habit with afterpays. She afterpays everything.
Oh,
So she,
yeah.
like there was one time and it was she's like, I've got blah blah amount to pay off on afterpay this week, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What is this?
Yeah, it got to ridiculous amount. So she doesn't use it anymore. That's probably the one. And she does. We have a lot of toys and clothes for Eliza. Like a lot. We don't have clothes now that fit her, but in the past we've just had like a ridiculous amount of clothes. Like how many clothes do a baby need? But yeah, she's pretty good. It's more so that like she'll buy something that's expensive, but she's not like regularly off buying stuff. So I don't know. I don't have too much to say to her. I bought a PC and like I'm always buying stuff for my PC. So I can't say shit.
I remember when I got my
find-
PC, I bought it like, it was a big investment. Like we were talking about it for ages, saving up for ages. Then I got it, but for even longer than I was saving up for it, she would hold it over my head after for getting it. But like, oh, but you got this, and it's like, when will it stop? It has
Oh yeah,
stopped
I cop
now.
that.
It
Oh,
has stopped.
every week.
It does stop, James. It does stop. Don't worry.
I find like with me, like with
I just want to buy Liza some clothes, and you just spent $4,000 on a PC.
yeah. No, that like all that stuff, like buying kids clothes and even coloring books and stuff, like I find that's okay. Like even the PC and Tia's, that's where I'm going to transition to. Like that's not just like a splurge. It is a splurge thing, but for us, it's a hobby. It's something that we want to do. Like it's not just like a just to have. It's like a part of your lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like Tia, she sews for her uni and all that sort of stuff. And she had an okay sewing machine. Like say she had like a 6, 7 out of 10 sewing machine, but she's like this other one does so much more. And then her parents sent her a couple $100, and then she spent like a fair bit on the rest of it. And now she's got this awesome top of the line sewing machine she can make all these patterns and stuff out of. And and
And
she
that's a bit
spends
more
like
than a hobby, though, right? Like that's more
yeah,
like an
that's
investment in a
like
career.
yeah,
So
and in a lifestyle, and like you know what I mean. Like that's not just a like a I don't know
yeah,
a haircut or a
yeah.
couple bits of takeaway where you can
Yeah.
kind of,
What?
and that's where I'm going to transition to like what does your partner actually spend? Or you sort of answered the question with your own sort of like thinking like that you actually really enjoy, like that you
Oh,
actually
okay.
think like oh my god, like I wouldn't do this if with the money kind of thing, like
Takeaway.
take
No, but I do it. I do it on
yeah.
my own as well. Sh-
Yeah,
'Cause
so do I.
Tia
Um,
buys like fabric and equipment and everything, and she makes like clothes and like outfits and stuff like that. Like, I think she's gotten to the point now where she doesn't even go out and buy like, she might buy a dress every now and then for like formal events, but like just going out to the pub or to the city or whatever for birthdays and those sort of occasions, she'll make her own outfit, and I reckon that's cool.
I don't know,
Um,
man.
yeah.
I don't think there really is anything. Like we don't spend really money. There isn't the money there to spend really. Like we've got the house, we've got a car loan, we've got the kids, daycare. You know what? Daycare.
Daycare is so expensive, but yeah, it's the best thing ever. The daycare that Eliza goes to, I can't believe how expensive it is talking in comparison to Brad's. Like, fuck me. It also is how much we get subsidized because of what our combined wage was. So that'll change because Paige isn't working now. She finished up last week.
Mm.
Yeah, like fucking hell, but it's the best investment.
Yeah. It's I guess maybe they crank the price a little bit because, once you do it, it's like, hey, this is pretty good. This is pretty
I
nice.
think, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm similar. We don't like other than food and clothes and stuff. We don't really blow money. We just spend the money on food all the time and don't really
Yeah, and
realize.
like
So,
there's like occasions that come up like parties,
mm,
presents and stuff. It's where it all goes really, and you have to kind of like stay on top of it and kind of squeeze every penny. And then like the bills come, the registrations come, and
Oh yeah,
oh,
redress time.
car
Honestly.
regos, man,
Yeah.
car
they're
regos sneak up.
ours is like
Actually, shit. I
two
think
in like the
mine's
next
due.
month. It's like $1,600 all up. Come on, dude,
My my
so
my
expensive.
actual license is expiring. So when I got my
Oh
full
no.
license, like it's actually expiring now. So
Do you know how much you
yeah,
have to pay or?
it's like $80, but I think it goes for like 5 years or something like that.
It's not too
So
bad.
you can choose like a cheaper price, but then it's like every 3 years or
You can
whatever.
get a new
Yeah, you can
photo.
also
You can
buy
get
a
a new
10-year
photo.
one.
A 10-year one.
I actually really like the photo on my one right now. I always have this thing whenever you like, I don't think you can do it for passports, but for like photo IDs, always smile. Because in like your licenses and stuff, those are the worst ones because you're just sitting there like,
I smile at my
look
Yeah.
at the
license.
So,
camera and like,
uh,
always show your teeth, just get them out and big smiles, and then your photo will always turn out good.
well, that's speaking of
I don't
that.
like smiling.
Obviously, I had passports when I was younger and stuff because obviously Sarah's from England and Dad working at the airport. We travelled a lot. We went on a lot of holidays. And so I was under the impression that for all IDs, because it used to be the way, you weren't allowed to smile in them, and that included licenses and stuff 20 years ago. So I remember going for my learners, and I've walked up to take the photo, and I'm straight faced, and they're like, "Smile," and I was like half smiling, and I had the worst photo ever. I looked like such a fucking creep. obviously had to live with that for 2 years. And then my P's photo was just as bad. So as soon as I was fully licensed, I went in. I'm like, I need to take a new photo, and like thankfully it was better. But man, ID photos are the worst. I hate them. Hate taking them.
I had a school ID where the lighting was coming from underneath. For some reason, the lighting wasn't from above coming down. It was like under, and I actually looked like a possessed Jesus. Like that's like how the photo came out. It was like, yeah, terrible. Like the pixelations on it. Yeah, I remember that one. That was not good. Not good skis.
Yeah, I had like a similar story to James. I didn't smile, and they're just like, but I don't smile for a lot of things. But they were just like, smile, dude. What the heck's wrong with you? And I was like, okay. And then they took the picture, and I looked at it. And I'm like, I hate it. Yeah. All right. So last week, this is gonna be a bit of a real topic. I'm gonna bring in a real topic. There's actually two like pretty full on topics. One's probably worse than the other, but one is local to us as well. I was gonna bring up the whole Russian invasion of Ukraine. That's a bit full on. Have you boys been following that at all?
Yeah, I think you sort of have to. It's
You can't really look away.
it's a lot closer to home than it probably feels. So yeah, I don't really think you can avoid not knowing what's going on.
I
Or avoid knowing what's going on.
I think it's like, obviously it's tragic, people dying for like a pointless war. It shouldn't happen. I'm pretty sure you guys can agree with me on that one. But it's kind of like interesting for me to see. Not trying to be heartless or anything, but like all like the amateur coverage of it, because like there is footage of Russian soldiers.
Oh yeah, like off people's phones and stuff.
Yeah, like captured Russian soldiers, dead Russian soldiers, Ukrainians, missiles hitting buildings, and like it's actual footage of jets flying over. It's crazy, man. The Ghost of Kiev. Have you guys seen the Ghost of Kiev? I don't know if that's real, but
Yeah.
there's just like on TikTok. There's like I guess like a bunch of TikToks filming a jet like taking out other aircrafts, and they're like, that's the Ghost of Kiev right there. He has 6 confirmed kills against the Russian forces. He got shot down, but then he survived and got back in a MiG, and he's back in the skies. And it's like, I don't know, it's just crazy to see. I've seen so much of it, and it's kind of like a morbid, can't look away thing for me. I like seeing these things because it like it puts me in the moment, like, hey, this could happen to you. This is a thing that happens in the world, and it could happen to you or others around you.
I think it's just like a point of history where you just it's gonna be there forever, and because it's happening right now, you want to be engaged with it. You know, like you want to, like it's obviously it's terrible and people dying and everything, but it's you're exactly right when you're saying that you can't look away. Like there's a
Oh yeah, it's
couple
fascinating.
there's a couple subreddits where all it is, it's just videos and photos and stuff, just of it all happening. And I think I was on it yesterday or the day before, just for like an hour and a half, just scrolling through everything, just like whoa, okay, and then yeah. But I don't know. It's weird. Like you say, like it's a pointless war, but isn't like every war pointless?
He
You think about it, like
Well,
it's just like
for most people, yeah, but
yeah, it's always
That's
some
definitely a
people against someone
philosophical
else.
question, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like this is happening because the narrative that I'm fed and that I believe, like pretty, like I don't see why I wouldn't believe it, is that Putin is just trying to seize more power for himself. Apparently there's a lot of like, I don't know, this could be completely wrong. There's like a
He
lot
doesn't
of
want
like
Ukraine to join
Ukraine,
the NATO.
yeah, he doesn't want that because then it kind of like unites against him. He's kind of surrounded, and it just, I can't believe it sucks that there's like, I don't know, it's weird saying it, but like actual like good versus bad kind of thing narrative that's like happening. Like they're just Russians are Russians. They're just people, but their leaders are like that guy's been in power for ages, hasn't he? Like it's a dictatorship over
Yeah.
there, and it's like, what can you do other than uh a civil like not a civil war, like a what do you call it, like a resistance, and like taking out the government leaders because they're all in cahoots and stuff. It's like I don't know what to do.
The thing that the struggle at the minute is if so this is why the US hasn't stepped into Ukraine yet, because if they do, it becomes a world war.
Oh yeah,
And I think obviously that's sort of avoid at all costs sort of thing. But I think the worry is that while this is going on, other places similar to Pearl Harbor, you know, when everything's going on and everyone's a bit distracted, someone goes, "Hey, this place is vulnerable. Now's the time to strike." I was having this conversation with Brad the other day because I was like, "Look, I don't feel like the fighting would come to Australia," whereas Brad's sort of like, "Oh, you know, times are a bit different now." I couldn't see it happening. Not with the way that
We are
the
the
lay of the land is
furthest
at the minute.
point away from
But
that spot, basically.
but you just never know. We also probably didn't think that this time 2 years ago we'd still be wearing masks and having to isolate. So I guess that's like everything's so unpredictable.
what about
and
tomorrow when
things
the
always
war
changing.
began? Korea comes over, takes over Australia. Have you guys? Do you know that? Like the series?
Yeah. I think I've seen the movie, but not for a long time.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of Australian teenagers or something. They go camping, and then like I think it's North Korea. They like the military rolls in, takes Australia for whatever reason. It was pretty bad. The book series was all right, I think, but then they made a crappy movie. Um, but yeah, I don't think Australia is like obviously we back the US like because we're kind of like, oh yeah, we'll do what they do or whatever. But
We're allies.
yeah, yeah, that's a good way. That's a nice way to put it. But I don't think, yeah, obviously you want to, everyone doesn't want it to escalate because that would be terrible. All lives would be lost. But the dude's threatening nuclear weapons. I don't know how common that is to do that because I've heard of people threaten nuclear weapons before, but I don't know. It just makes you really uneasy that, like, if he does let loose something, that's messed up. That's like, what's going to happen? Like, yeah, it's great. But I don't know if he's like what does he want?
Yeah, I think that's the thing that makes it a lot scarier
Putin,
than
what do you want? When you
years
watch
gone by.
this on youtube.com/Sharpie later after it's aired live on Twitch, upload it to YouTube. What do you want, man? Just tell us. Maybe we can work something out. Do you want some
The
solo?
the biggest country
Yeah,
with
you want some solo?
Have you
the
ever
biggest
tried
country
solo?
with the biggest landmass country just wants more land. I think that's what his goal is. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that's the fear though. Now that like obviously in previous world wars until the end of it, nuclear weapons weren't really a thing, and it ended it. And I guess if someone's looking to end a war before it starts, that's where it's gonna go. And I think that's probably the thing that makes me sit a little bit uneasy.
I saw a Reddit post actually today. I don't know if it's 100% true, but it was like an old, like, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 years ago, two gentlemen shaking hands, and the caption was like, Ukraine giving up Ukraine's nuclear weapons to Russia, in an agreement that they would never invade Ukraine. And I was like, if that's true, then like that's messed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Left himself vulnerable.
Yep. But another crazy thing that happened in the last couple of days since the last podcast was the floods here in Australia, up in Queensland and in New South Wales above us. That's actually surreal. That's kind of like the same thing for me. A lot of the footage I've seen is from TikTok.
Yeah.
It's just TikTok. Like you see people in their house. Oh, the water's coming up. Oh, our house is half underwater. That's crazy, man.
It
That's
is
so
crazy.
shit.
That yeah. Like how far things are flooded. Like double stories are underwater. Like I can't. Like you can't even fathom how it happens. Like how does the yeah, I just cannot compute how that actually. Like, I understand how it happens. I just can't get my head around it. And then, like the videos and everyone, like I know it's not the first time it's happened over there, but I just can't get over how some people are so chill about it. Like you see the people boogie boarding. Have you guys seen the TikTok of the guy and he's on his computer and the water's
And
like
he's
just
like,
below his desk and he's like, "Oh, I left the dishes on," and he goes and turns the tap off, and his whole house is fucking flooded. His TV that's plugged in would be fucked. Everything that's plugged in would be fucking screwed, and he's just making a
Yeah, there'd be no
TikTok.
he
Like
made me
power.
it's
laugh.
crazy.
He made me laugh. So
Oh, it
maybe
made me laugh a lot. It was very funny, but like his everything that was plugged into a PowerPoint would be screwed. You would think, unless the power cut out before it was flooded, I suppose.
yeah.
Because if it's just the cable underwater, that will sort of dry out. I don't know,
Yeah, when it gets wet,
but
it hits the
so
earth and
much
that shuts
damage.
everything
Like
off.
yeah, so but there'd be plenty of things that are like ruined that were submerged. You know, like that motherboards got wet and just crazy.
All you think about is your computer.
Well, that's why my PC's up on top of my
Yeah,
desk.
like you've raised it this
So when
week as well.
my gaming room's in the top story of my house, and it's on top of my desk, and pretty soon I'm just gonna attach it to the roof.
Yeah.
Ceiling
So
But
with
mounted.
that's nuts. You got family, you got in-laws over there, Phil. So
yeah,
obviously
that
you
that
sort of
hit
get better than anyone.
that hits close to home because Tia, so my fiance, she's born like she's from Woodburn, basically. So you've got Lismore, which is the inland town that's flooded super bad in northern New South Wales. And basically, what Lismore is a valley. So picture a valley. It's lower here. There's mountains surrounding it all the way around, and the riverbank levee broke and then rose super high. So think I don't know, it was up to like 8 meters, 9 meters or something. And basically, where Tia lives, she's all downriver, so all the rivers are basically coming from the ocean, and then they're called the northern rivers of New South Wales, and then the rivers flow throughout all the surrounding towns and everywhere. So her family home's downriver from Lismore, so it's all flooding basically towards her house. So she's lost the house that she grew up in. Um, the worst flood in her town before that was in 1974, and it only got to like the front doorstep of her house, not even. So basically, all the houses there, they're all raised. So you picture like a double-story house, but you've got like a carport, and then you've got like a carport here where you put your garage underneath, and then you put like your laundry, all that sort of stuff that if it does flood, then nothing will get damaged too much in there. Like it's sort of like ankle, knee deep water. You wouldn't
Yeah.
have your lounge room downstairs. So that's how all the houses are over there. They're all in a carport. And then they've got the next level being the double story would be where all your equipment um, where you live, basically. So her
Yeah.
house isn't like a double story, but it's on a hill that's raised, and then the house is on stilts, like, on joists and everything, which is then higher. So yeah, it's basically the water's gone all the way up through the house. They were like out the back of the house on top of the hill and got rescued by SES and went to the town. So yeah, if you look at James's camera, so
Yeah, I
that's
wasn't trying to take the piss. I was just trying
no,
to find
that's
the
all right.
Soviet plate to show the.
That's yeah. So that's the town there. So basically, you got that bridge which is like behind James's head. That's normally like 6, 7 meters above river height there, and where he is there now, it's probably like 2 meters. So basically, that's where the river would flow through, and that's just flooded everything.
And it's
So all
just
those
now it's like a
major,
massive
look at
lake.
yeah. So all those houses to the right there, that's sort of like the main strip. Sort of that's where the M1 used to go through,
think
and
about like
then
that's like double stories and like really really big buildings, and
yeah.
almost fully submerged. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah, so all those houses on the left there, those are basically double stories. They're all got carports underneath them and then have a second story. And they're basically like nearly hitting the roofs kind of thing.
They're built to like withstand flooding with flooding like
Yeah,
measures in
that's
place, and
ace.
this once in a
Now that's how
lifetime
crazy it
storm.
is. Yeah.
Holy. crap. Like it's actually crazy to see.
The only like sort of safe place that's in that town at the moment, just right at that photo, is where the school is, and the school's on the biggest hill in town, like right at the top of it. So that's like that's where the community's based now with like SES, and they've all got like food and all that sort of shit there. So
I
that's where
guess
the
the
whole
thing,
town is, and basically they can't go to another town and get transported there because that town's also in the same boat where they're like overcrowded kind of thing. Because
Oh yeah.
no one can else like live in their homes with food and an abundance of these things. They're all like, a lot of them didn't think it was going to be that bad because it hadn't flooded that bad there ever since, and because this is so bad, all they've got is like the clothes on their backs and a backpack, and then like all their items in their house are lost. Like
Couldn't imagine,
yeah,
man.
that's exactly the point that I was going to get to. Like Queensland, it's sort of like there's floods all the time, not to this extent, but they probably have a lot more preparation being such a tropical area. And they're sort of a bit more prepared for it. Whereas, like, obviously, you said there was a flood there in the 70s, but that's
oh no, that
50
was the
years ago.
worst flood since. So there's
Yeah,
floods there
yeah,
like every year or so, but yeah,
yeah,
that
but not
was
to
the worst one.
not to this extent,
No,
and not
no,
to like for Queensland, they've had floods like this, you know. So there's probably just a bit more in place than there is over there, and
no,
it's probably
they're
just
all
sort of gotten them a little bit, sort of, yeah, just
no, they're all
yeah. I can
built for
imagine it
it,
would
but
be
it's
harder
just
over
like
there.
you can't prepare for something that's a major disaster. Like yeah,
Nah,
It's pretty
you
bad.
can't.
It's been a pretty fucking shitty 2.5 years, man. We've had the fires, the COVID, the floods. Like it's just
do you
the
have the
war.
photo of the Macca's thingy that I
Yeah,
posted?
I
Or would
can.
Yeah.
that be too hard? Yeah,
No, I
there's
can.
literally
I can
like
just put
you can
exactly the
get
same.
there's literally like so when you picture like 8 meters high, you say 8 meters, that's not that high. But have you ever been at the top of like a swimming pool, like diving board to jump off?
Yep.
You ever done a 10-meter diving board before?
Yeah, I have. It's
It's f-
fantastic, but it is very high.
it's very scary once you're up there. But once you jump and then try and pinball your feet out so then you don't like break something because how quick you're traveling into the water. Yeah, it is pretty high. So
Oh,
basically, what that is on the left there where James is sitting is basically where the Macca sign is. Move to there you go. So that's where the Macca sign is. That's a double-story building. You see the house behind it. That also is double stories. So that's Lismore. So that obviously you can see the hills behind it, and then they're in the valley. And then that's the same Macca's drive-through sign afterwards. That's
yeah. Well, the Macca's
not a
pylons are
drive-through
like
anymore.
universal, so anyone that's been to McDonald's would pretty much understand how high up those
I
are.
know they're way up
So for that
there,
to be
so
like
you can see
right
them
up
from
the
far
top, yeah.
away, and then you can spend money on some takeaway.
All right, I'm gonna
That's
like we did. I'm
it's
gonna turn that
like,
off because it makes my camera really laggy.
has there been deaths?
A couple, I think. Yeah,
I'm
like
sure
in the
there's
Jesus,
probably
teens.
plenty that there's just not been confirmed yet. I would say too.
imagine pets. That's so sad, man.
That's why teaching your kids to swim and like lessons and all of that sort of stuff is just so important. And if you're in an area like that, you just got to like you almost got to keep life jackets and stuff like that in your house for these sort of situations. As crazy as it is, like
Yeah,
we would never even fathom to do something like that down here because it just like the worst floods we get is our gutters are full, so you can go
How
and sit on the side of the
fast
road and
does
get
it
splashed.
happen?
But like, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
crazy.
the water rises pretty quickly, but it's a it's slow, gradual kind of grade kind of thing. I
I
think
don't
it
know
might
what
have
I
been
would
quick at
do.
the start when the levee broke, and then
You
obviously
can't really do
then the
anything
water
unless you get
gushes through.
unless you get like a
Yeah,
warning and then you leave, or you
yeah,
can't really do anything.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's well, they would have had flood warnings for a while, but I'm sure even at the time, I remember hearing about it, but I don't think they ever
yeah,
thought it was going to
yeah.
end
It's
up
like
being
No,
this bad.
of
Like,
yeah, you're
course.
like how can it
how
actually rain
bad's
for
a
two
flood?
weeks straight, and piss down all day every day, like
And the crazy thing is, as soon as it ends, it'll be hot. Like this, the weather's just
yeah, the humidity,
crazy.
yeah.
It's nuts.
But like, coming to think about like the topic before that one, like the Ukraine, the Russian thing, all I want to see with the government now is just to focus on your own. Like,
Yeah,
obviously, it's a
man, for
major thing
sure.
in like the media and everything, but like, send hundreds, thousands of like army troops and everything that are around and go help and aid. You know what I mean? Like, that's where the country and I think Australia fails to do sometimes because the citizens just take care of themselves, like with that true blue Aussie spirit, and they just get it done. Whereas like I feel like other countries really throw support behind them, like the government. You know what I mean? Like perfect example would be like ScoMo when the bushfires were on and he went on holiday. You know, like that whole stereotype, like stigma, like like if that was any other country, your leader's supposed to be the one that's going to be in there and helping out and everything. But I feel like what our politicians are like, they're just like they only use things as a publicity stunt.
I don't know. I don't think they're any better or worse than anywhere
You
else in the
see,
world.
you see
I don't think
ScoMo welding.
yeah.
Oh
He's
my
like,
god.
I've done
Well,
this
man,
before.
that's like, and
Blinds
that's like a
himself.
meme, and people like you could say like you give them the benefit of the doubt, but like, man, that's like a constant theme. You know, it's not like a once off scenario. It's like fucking. It seems like when things get hard, we're not helping. You know what I mean?
I don't
I
like
don't know.
ScoMo, but I
Yeah,
don't think that I don't think that's really any different to anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
From
Part of the
what I've
job is like, to me, it's like being likable. You know, like the guy's so unlikable.
How many politicians do you like though? That's the problem that we have
Arnold
because
Schwarzenegger.
they're all quite selfish and they've all got agendas. I actually don't mind. I didn't know anything about Anthony Albanese until like probably 6 months ago. Like if you told me who the leader of the opposition was or asked me, wouldn't have known because he's just so redundant. But I've seen some stuff of him talking and I don't mind him now. But
I know
I
even
think when
less. I
you're the
just learned of
opposition,
him
they
now.
just sort of stay. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
They say
They
yeah,
need to be out and about more. Like you hear about him leading up to an election, but where is he for the other fucking 3 years? You know, get out there and I know they do say stuff, but like we're
K-Rod.
20-year-old dads. We don't watch the news. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Kevin
You got to
07,
find other
man.
ways to get out to people. Yeah, get him out to downball. Get him to come play it in the danger zone.
Yo. Have you
He
seen
follows me
Kevin
on
Rudd
Twitter. Do
play?
you want me to reach out to him?
Wait, what?
Kevin Rudd follows me on Twitter. I'll reach out
Yeah.
to him. I'll
How?
get
I
him
think
to
Peter
come play
Hitchener
downball
did the
with us.
same thing. Peter Hitchener like follows everyone. He follows him.
He doesn't. Hey, Kevin Rudd doesn't follow everyone. Just most people.
Just most people. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, just the important ones.
Yeah. Who is sort of to go
Nice
from
segue.
like kind of serious sort of talk. Let's liven up a little bit. Who's your celebrity crush of all time?
All time.
Yeah. So like so you could go. I'll give two. Like who's your like celebrity crush like now that you think oh my god they're awesome, and then who's the one when you were like a teenager that like
Yeah, yeah. I've
Yeah,
got
Margot
I
Robbie.
got huh? Oh,
Margot
I thought
Robbie.
you said
Yeah.
I'll go Robbie. I was like, wait, Robbie Williams? Like what?
Right.
He's pretty
I'm
cool, but
loving angels instead.
that's a good song, man. That's a good song. Yeah, I'll just say
Why is Margot Robbie?
You really want me to just sit
Yeah,
here and
come
say
on.
she's hot?
No, but why? Like when did you decide on Margot Robbie? Was it like Wolf
bit
of
of
Wall Street?
Daddy's Little
I watched the
Was it
movie
Monster.
she was in it, and I was like, damn, she's pretty hot.
which movie was it?
And yeah, and I don't know, but there,
Was it
and she's in Wolf of Wall
What
Street, and I'm
scene?
16, and she's naked, and yeah, that
Timestamp.
definitely helps. She's
Um,
in with Will Smith when they're the con
Yeah.
artists. She's good in that.
Harley
She's in a lot
Quinn.
of stuff. Yeah, yeah.
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 So is that your like
She's just,
celebrity crush now, or is that your celebrity crush? Oh, obviously she wasn't
I don't
around
know,
you that
man.
much when you were a teenager.
You've really put me on the
So
spot.
I can go. I've got growing up Megan Fox,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
Transformers.
Transformers one,
Man,
man.
the yellow car, that scene when she's like fucking doing her thing,
She's
and
like
like
in the
15, 16-year-old me in the movies was just sitting there like, yeah, okay, like
Booba.
yeah.
You seen the
And
emote Booba?
Booba,
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I have it. Do I?
I don't know. And the other one would be Mila Kunis. for
Oh
now.
yeah.
Yeah, just the charisma that she's got, and she's smoking too. Like just
Yeah.
the roles that she plays. The movie with her and Justin Timberlake. What's that one called?
Just go with it. Not just go with it. Friends with benefits.
Friends with Benefits. Yeah, man. Like watching that, I'm like, wow, you're you're top notch. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. We have different ones. We all have different ones.
Who are
I
you, Sharp?
am ScarJo Stan.
Yeah,
I don't know. She's just so fine. And like,
teenage years.
You are all naming them. I'm just like, yeah, yeah, as well.
yes.
So don't make me single out one.
Black Widow. Man, she could beat me up any day. Any day of the week. Nah, I think definitely ScarJo. It just like Jai said in the chat, Ryan Reynolds, and that has some like truth to it. He looks good now. Like he looks good. He might even look better than he was when he was like, I don't know, 25, 30. That being said, I also thought Megan Fox was an absolute hottie in Transformers. Like when she lifts up the car hood, like
every
you
other
just know
teenage boy.
there's like sweat on her stomach. It's like chef's kiss.
So you remember the scene more than I do.
No, like
I
I remember the
scene,
song
yeah.
behind it, and then like the Transformers theme. It's like, I think there's more to you than meets the eye. That's when he says that part. And it's like, shut up, Sam Witwicky.
That's it. Yeah.
There were some good movies until they became not good movies.
It's like anything. If a franchise goes long enough and
Yeah.
becomes too outrageous, Fast and Furious, they become shit.
Yeah,
Thinking about growing up, probably a bit of a different one. Natalie Portman in Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Tatooine. No, not
Oh,
Tatooine.
yeah.
Sorry.
More so in the second one when she's on Geonosis.
Geonosis.
When she's got the
After
crop
she got
top.
scratched, and it came.
Oh yeah.
Specifically the blood for me.
Yeah, you like the blood.
No,
Oh yeah,
that's
she's
a
one.
joke.
I think a bit of
I don't know.
a.
There's a lot. It's kind of hard to
Yeah.
really nail one down.
But I think
Even
we can
like-
all agree,
all the people that we've named are quite.
above all else, I think you guys will agree with me, our lovely partners are our biggest crushes. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not celebrities, so we don't have to acknowledge them.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair
I'm
enough.
sure.
Makes sense.
I'm sure if you got the three of them in the same room and told them a celebrity crush, that'd be like Ryan Gosling, bloody Ryan Reynolds, all the Ryans out there. There'd be
Every
an Ashton
Ryan.
Kutcher in there. There'd be this like that and that guy, The Rock, like
The Rock.
like
The Rock.
like big,
Dwayne.
strong, muscly man. Like everyone's
to
got their
smell when
own
he's
different
cooking.
taste. Like
If you
it's
smell
alright.
with the
The
Rock.
Like,
people.
celebrity
What does he
crush?
say?
I
The
don't
people.
care what your celebrity crush is.
Yeah. So yeah. My dog just came in, crashing the podcast. You guys want to see Luna?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of pets, I got a new cat.
A new cat.
Yeah, his name is Boots. He's 9 years old. His owner moved into an area that no longer can't allow animals. So after a lot of begging from Paige, we now have another cat.
How long has the cat been there?
Saturday.
Is it white?
It has white on it.
Okay. I don't know.
It was on Brad's Snapchat, if that's what you're getting at.
I'm unsure.
No, I don't know.
I'm unsure anymore. Hello, Luna.
This is
So, yeah,
Luna.
my
She's a cuddly puppy.
previous cat
I
has
like
been
Luna.
struggling with the adjustment.
Oh, really? They don't get along? Yet?
It's just territorial. Like, obviously, she's been the only cat around, and now this other cat just rolls in. This cat's 9 years old, though, so it walks in, and my cat Lily just hisses, and he's just like, oh, and just walks away.
All right,
So that's
then.
pretty funny.
All right, then.
But,
I'll be
yeah.
heading on out.
Yeah.
I had like going on with that. You know how like the teenager answer, like like you at that age kind of thing. And I was thinking about it, and I was just like, actually, I was like scrolling Reddit, and it came up with like a Q&A, and it was like, what would you tell your 16-year-old self? So it's not like a question for, hey, invest in Bitcoin, like
That's
it's
what I'd
not
say, though.
something like that. Like it's not something where you can give advice to. It's more so like, hey, you're there for 15 seconds. Just give a tiny bit of advice to yourself.
Like invest in Bitcoin is probably the best
Yeah,
advice.
but like, you know, if
Like
you
in
say
fairness,
something like that, let's just put it in perspective. Like if you say it like that, then you instantly die. Like, you know, like,
What are
you know,
these
because
stakes here?
then you can't
what sort
cheat.
of
So
opportunity is this?
basically, like I read some of the answers, and the answers from the random people where someone said, "Quit smoking. It's not cool, and don't date Christina. She seems great and has a great body, but trust me, she's nuts." I thought that was funny. And the next one, someone said, "Start saving whilst your life is cheap. I'll buy you things later. Trust me."
Oh,
Yeah. And
that's
then
a good
another
one. I'd
person
say
said,
that,
"Yeah." Another person said, "We all go
even though I
bald at some
haven't.
point. Grow your hair out while you can. Hence."
Oh,
You know, once the kids start coming on, the hairline's starting to recede. I'm like Borgaz, and that's like my like heritage and stuff. And I've always got super like heaps of hair. But trust me, like Aaron just showed it, like all up
you're
there.
sneaking back
That was
there.
like
You're
down here
sneaking
like
back.
3 years
Oh,
ago. You know, it's coming back a little bit. So grow it out because it won't be there the whole time. And
mine's
for
still there.
me, um,
I only have one kid though.
for me, I said hit the gym and make it a habit. Like, you know, it'll help you out later in life. You know, if I started earlier.
Oh yeah.
And then I said, whether it's after school or you drop out, just start working. Because I didn't get a job until I was 18. So if I picture myself like working after school or something, or hey, like, you know, actually, if future me is coming in and give me a little bit of advice and saying, hey, drop out, you don't actually need school for what you're going to be on later. Um, you know, just start working. So, because I enjoy working. I like getting out there and doing it. I don't, although I do enjoy holidays, but after a certain point, I don't mind that day to day grind of getting out there and doing things.
Yeah, if I
So
could go
yeah,
back, I'd definitely say, like, probably say, stay, like, no, I'd say do math methods in year 11, 12, or something like that. Because I had to do it in
stay as
university,
long as
and I
you
just, like,
can.
sucked at doing it. And then I ended up dropping out of uni, and that would have been good if I stayed there, really. But I don't know. I would have said, yeah, that's a good one. Like, because I become a baker, and a baker's apprentice is how I started working full time. And it's like, mate, you could have dropped out of school and started that at like, I don't know, 15, 16, whenever
Yeah.
they allow you. And then you'd be like 3 years ahead of where you are. But then again, like, people don't really take you serious unless you're kind of over the age of 21. So, I mean, you wouldn't get far. Um, I don't know. I would probably say keep collabing with Stimessence on YouTube, which was J Chal's channel back in the day.
Yeah.
I'd say, like, you know, stick with something, man. Stop flopping around. Stick with the Danger Zone podcast. Get to episode 100. Go play golf with your mates.
Yeah, come play golf.
Yeah, episode 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine would be obviously like 16 was weird for me. Mine would be don't listen to the school and don't do methods in year 12 because obviously like I didn't go for like the last 3 terms of year 11,
Yeah.
but I was top of the class in methods and I would have done specialist in physics and stuff in year 12 if everything sort of went to plan. But they were like, "Oh, you're smart, you'll catch up and everything." And I just started behind the 8 ball. I missed the first 2 weeks of year 12 and then walked in when it was too late to move classes, and I was like, I don't have any of the prior learning, and just never caught up. So I didn't finish school, not by choice. I failed. So mine would have been because I had the feeling I was like, I'm not going to be able to do it because I just don't have the prior learning. But they were confident that I was smart enough, and I wasn't. So that would probably be my thing. Would be to not do that and sort of trust your gut and just literally get a pass because I would do anything now to have had at least just have a pass. And then just to exit like keep in a walking routine while I was sick. I didn't really do anything for a while because I was so sick and just now I'm just fat and like completely out of shape and all of my base fitness is gone. So anytime I try and run, if I don't run for like a week, I just struggle. So it's been really hard since just to get fit. So that would be my thing, just to try and stay fit while I was going through everything. But yeah, that would probably be mine, I guess.
Yeah, don't be so hard on yourself too, because you said that you failed. But you didn't like mention that you had like obviously within yourself that you had leukemia there, but the random viewer wouldn't know that if they was like say this is their first episode viewing it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, dude, like if it were me, if I had leukemia when I was at school, I'd probably just be like, wouldn't even bother going,
Yeah. Well, I
Like,
didn't go a lot in year 12, mostly because
yeah,
I'd go into because I was allowed to come and go. So I'd go to school and I'd do the like PE and those sort of classes where I was doing all right, and it would get to methods and I would just go home because I couldn't bring myself to walk into the room just
yeah,
because it was just too hard. If I didn't miss any school in year 11, it would have been fine. But yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. I'm sad now.
Awkward silences. Yeah. Sorry.
okay, no, that's all right. No, it's good. You got to talk about these things, Um, I want to create a shitty little pun here. So my mum has a little veggie garden in the backyard, and she's just got a natural act for growing things because she's Italian, and green things are what they are, concrete and growing veggies. So she brought this in,
Concreting.
and this is her best pick. But I was gonna say I love you guys from my head. Tomatoes, little pun.
Did you
It's
say
like
that's the best tomato she's got?
this is a homegrown tomato, mate. This is homegrown. That's you grow your own little tomatoes in the backyard. That is
Yeah, they
fantastic.
don't
That
turn
is the
out
pick of
well.
the bunch.
I've seen
Yeah,
homegrown tomatoes.
the ones that they grow
Like,
where you
eat it
you
right now.
order they're red. I don't
Yeah.
want to eat this precious thing. I want to eat this in a sandwich or something.
Take a
We'll eat
bite.
some of it. Just a bite. Just a
I'll go
bite.
to the fridge and get some cherry tomatoes. The
Well,
the little
did
ones
she
that you
grow
grow.
those?
Yeah, she
Okay,
grows
yeah.
everything. She's got cucumbers, zucchinis,
Yeah, my dad used to grow all that stuff. We had a greyhound there
capsicums,
that would always ruin it.
potatoes, but the
Chili.
potatoes are really small. She hasn't figured out how to grow them. I think she's just got to
Oi,
leave them in there for longer and let them get bigger.
veggies, right? I'm
Yeah.
growing bell peppers on my All the Mods world, All the Mods 6. They grow so fast. You combine two of them with a bakeware tin, and you get a veggie like platter or something, and it gives you like 6 hunger. It's so good. It's
Then my
so
old
good.
mods world came along a long way on Monday.
Yeah, obviously I jumped in. I was looking at it. You were doing the forge after watching my video. Obviously, learning a lot.
That's so stupid.
Wait, what?
The way you have to do the
The
controller in that is so
No,
dumb.
it tears it, man. Like it's weird because it's so easily skipped, or like passed over. Like you quickly get it done, but I could
I don't mind
see.
progression, but that one just seems literally just for the sake of making an extra step for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was all right. We managed. We got there. Now I'm building the solar factory underneath.
Yeah, I'm having a lot
Speaking
of
of, I
fun.
haven't done a TikTok today because I had to rush out to this.
Oh damn!
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Fall
I don't know
Guys
what you guys are
solo
talking about.
drinking. What's
But
this?
these are the little ones. So these are the little cherry tomatoes.
Stick them up
So
your
that's what
nose.
she normally. Where did I put these?
How many do you have? Do you have enough to see how many you could fit in your mouth?
She has punnets. So these are just like these are 4 that I grabbed just randomly, but she's got like 20, 30 of them. So these are fantastic.
But probably not enough to see how many you could fit in your mouth at once.
I don't want to waste them. They're delicious.
This is the first
yeah.
item eaten on the podcast.
Is it actually?
Well, I think so. Oh, what you got?
Ooh,
Some
look at that
twirls?
twirl.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
grew
have
these
anything
in
to
my
eat.
backyard.
Putting a
Oh,
twirl in
did
the
you?
mix.
I got a 12 bites tree out there.
No,
It's
but
actually empty. I just ate
that's
the
super
crumbs.
cool.
We got a couple
And I
minutes
tell you what,
left. Yeah, what?
yeah,
Go for it.
you can tell the real difference, but when it's actually sprayed with like herbicides and like to get rid of like the pests off them and stuff, and when it's actually grown naturally. And when it's grown naturally, man, it's fucking delicious. Like I don't know, like it doesn't have that sweet kind of. It's just got that like more. I don't know. It doesn't sound appealing when I say it's got that earthy taste, but it's got like that real natural like this is grown in the
It's just
backyard
different.
kind
You
of thing.
can tell. I
Yeah,
definitely want to get a veggie patch going, but like I feel like I need to work less to keep up a veggie
oh yeah,
patch. Like life's too
100%.
busy, man. Life's too busy.
Pick your job.
But we got a couple minutes left. We got some questions. Do you want to quickly smash them out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite song? Do you guys have a favorite song?
I don't have a favorite song.
What about like a?
I wish.
What's the last song that you listened to? The last song you put on because you're like, oh, I like this song. I'm gonna put it on. I'll go first. I listened to a cover. Actually, I put on Heat Waves by Glass Animals. Is that it? Yeah, some nights all I think about is you. There's like a rock
Oh,
cover
yeah.
as well. That came on in the car because it was playing last, just because it came up. My daughters were in the car, and I'm like, oh, you guys know this song. They haven't heard like the rock version yet. My other daughter was like, oh, this sounds very angry. It'd be hard to do that. And then Iris, my younger one, was like, this is my favorite song now, and she's like dancing to it. I'm just like, you guys are cool.
Yeah, I
My
don't necessarily. Sorry, you go, Phil.
my favorite song is Knights of Sidonia by Moose.
Oh,
Yeah, that
ooh,
is
is that
the
the one that starts
ultimate
with like the dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
dun, 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 dun?
No, that's
Yeah.
not that. That's not that, is it? Ding.
Nah, that's
Dun, 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 dun,
that's
dun, dun.
Barracuda.
Yeah, that is Barracuda.
No, but
Yeah,
it's like
Barracuda.
I know Knights of
nah,
Sidonia.
yeah,
Come
Knights of
on.
Sidonia. It's got that like real slow build into it.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like a long song as well.
I'm actually like listening to my headphones right now.
Sing it.
It's got the horse at the start, and it's like, but I'm waiting for the start of it, and I can like. Hold on. This is terrible podcast.
Is it the one where it's like,
Yeah.
no one's gonna take me alive? Yeah.
No one's gonna. Yeah. Time has come to make things right. I fucking love it, man.
Yeah.
It's like it's the perfect like slow down, build up, slow down, build up
Their
back
Drones
again.
album is dope as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This song 4 minutes in, go for a run, and it'll be like a 6 minute
No
run,
thanks.
right? And it'll be the quickest 6 minutes you'll ever run in your life because you get to that point where they just bust out like in the solo bit, and you're just like 4 minutes in, and you just start fucking sprinting. Like I don't know, I ended up doing it in lockdown to try and keep fit, and I was like, by the time I get to like 4 or 5 minutes in, I'm kind of knackered, and then that bit of the song comes on, and I just find it like the fourth, fifth gear, you know, and I just start fucking doing these ones, and I'm just pumping down the street. And then I get to 6 minutes and I'm knackered and I'm done. That's
When did you go for your last run, Phil?
Last night, footy training.
Outside of footy training?
Uh,
Now he has to
2
think.
weeks ago.
Okay.
2 weeks ago.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have a favorite song, but I tend to go through phases where I'm like, oh yeah, this song's good, and play it over and over. Or like I'll get into my playlist and like I'll find that song to start with, or I'll always find a way to get to it.
Yeah.
For me at the moment, that is "Hard Times" by Paramore. But
Go on. How does that go?
actually changes all the time.
It gives a dun 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 dun.
Boom.
Nice. Very nice.
But yeah, like I don't know, I couldn't really pick a favorite song, but sort of chop and change through all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
I've got
nice.
so
very
many
nice.
different favorite like artists and genres and everything. I like a lot of songs, man. Aussie rock, you know, like just acoustic, everything. Hip hop. I think my favorite artist all time is probably Kanye. Man,
Oh.
that dude, for like a person of his personality and stuff, like what he does in real life and what he says and everything, he produces some fucking bomb music. Like go back through his hits and stuff. There's just like I don't know. For me, I
He's
really
got some
enjoy
good
it.
ones,
It's
but
like
he's never stood out like crazy for me. But I do
yeah,
like some of his songs. Oh, you know what Kanye song I do love?
right.
I don't know what it's called, but it's like, hey,
yeah,
hey, hey, hey. It's like I heard it first when I was like watching someone play Saints Row the Third or something, and like it was like the intro song of that, and I was like, "What's this song? It's dope."
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on
Good
2K
one.
as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we've hit over an hour, guys. Did you guys
Yeah.
want to hit any other topics or?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm down skis to keep going if you guys are.
Yeah, whatever. You got any topics?
James,
James
are you
is
good skis?
I
busy.
was just saying goodnight to Eliza.
Okay.
I don't have any other topics. No.
No, but are you good to keep going if we want to keep talking or?
Oh yeah, what do you want to talk about?
So, is
Phil's
there
got
any
the
moment in
stuff.
time like that you would like to be there to witness? So there's like one moment in time that you weren't there for, but you really like to be there just to witness like that moment. You know, like to be a part of a crowd at a festival somewhere.
My
Like
own conception.
what?
Ugh, that's disgusting.
No, just me. Okay.
You just
Wait, your
you
own?
really want to
Or
watch
Yeah.
that?
I want to. That's actually.
Mm,
I'm gonna vomit. I'm gonna be sick now.
have
I
you
just made
thought
that
about
joke.
what you said? Do you have one, Phil? I assume you do.
yeah, I'll go
You
first.
get weeks to think of these questions, and then we get put on the spot.
He's been
Yeah,
waiting
that's right.
since
That's why
episode 2.
I like to go first, and then you guys can, you know, think about it. It actually just came to my head as I was asking this question was actually when Queen played the Live Aid music festival in like
Ooh.
1970s, like in the mosh pit of that. I don't know if it'd be better than any other festival, but that moment in time is so iconic, and just to be like, you know, I was there for that.
You want to be like
Yeah.
on the camera at some point so you can find yourself again and be like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like, yeah, this is me carrying this person on top of my shoulders. You can't really see me, but that was, yeah, like, yeah, I reckon that'd be cool. And the other part of that I didn't actually ask you guys, but like, if you would want to relive it again. And for me, I had two. They're both football related, but it's when the Bulldogs won the grand final. And when Tom Boyd kicked that goal, and I was in the stands just jumping hysterically, like I had no control over myself, just like absolutely losing it. And when my team won the grand final, 2018 footy as well. It's like, you know, once in a lifetime thing that I've experienced it, that I just want to go back to that moment in time and just complete joy. That's all it is. It's just complete pure happiness and just like there's no fear or no
Yeah.
anything. It's
Someone
just like,
clip that and then title it Phil talking about the birth of his children.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that. But when Claire was born, I was in a complete mess. Not a complete mess, but I was just super paranoid because Tia like had to go to the operating theater.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And when Sam was born, I was copping everything from Tia. So she was like, you know, I was trying to comfort her, and my hand was fucking broken because she's just
Oh, yeah.
squeezing the fuck out of it, which is fair enough. But then I'll be like, Tia, do you want a drink? And she'd be like, I don't want any fucking drink. Shut the fuck up. Like, you know, just give me those ones because she's going through pain, and I needed to be that soundboard for her. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's your job.
childbirth
They
is
were-
bloody rough for us blokes. It's pretty
yeah.
shit. You
It
gotta...
is definitely
So
harder for
yeah,
us.
but that's yeah, they were very happy moments, but I don't know, just that whole euphoria of the whole crowd. Like, you know, when you're in the room, it's sort of just you, your partner, and midwives, and a doctor, maybe. Like, you know, but
Uh.
I suppose if you had 20 of your mates jumping around you when the kid was born, like, you know, you might get that.
I thought
I don't
of
know. That's what
I
I
thought of
really
a
enjoy.
historic moment. Well, not like it's not a historic moment, but it's something that I definitely was around for. I'd like to witness like gladiator fights in the Colosseum.
Fuck
Imagine
yeah.
seeing a couple of them, like seeing them loose like 3 lions or whatever the heck they get up to, and like, you know, maybe even like following a career of like one of the gladiators that, you know, won and survived it for however long. Like, I think that'd be pretty cool. Like, imagine that.
That'd be cool.
Be pretty graphic, but
What was his name? It's Russell Crowe, bloody Maximus something off the Gladiator, the actual movie. What
I
was his
don't know.
name again?
I
I don't know.
don't
It's
know the
got a cool
name,
name.
but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Historic moments, mine are a bit more boring. I would have 3. One is like Phil said, Live Aid. One would be Essendon's 2000 grand final. Obviously the most dominant season on record. I was born, but I was 3 years old, so I don't know shit. It would have been good to be old enough to experience that and like purely just see, you know, just a demolition of a year really. They only lost 1 game, which was, yeah, pretty good. And the other one is like I would do anything to be able to go back and see Don Bradman bat.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I think that would be unbelievable. Without getting too cricket nerdy for everyone here that probably has no idea what I'm talking about, the wickets weren't covered back in the day, so it would get rained on all the time, and there'd be grass, so it'd be difficult to bat on. No helmets, no protection, and this bloke just did better than anyone else ever has and ever will do. And yeah, I just think that watching him would be, a life experience that people that got to see him bat would have talked about it for the rest of their lives.
Is there any like people back then? Like obviously he was a goat, but like do you reckon everyone else around him was like the reason it can't be replicated is because everyone else was kind of shit back then, and everyone's gotten so good.
No. So basically, what James didn't explain then was when he was talking about the wickets weren't as good. Basically, so they weren't covered.
Yeah.
But when the ball's bouncing now, because they're covered and maintained and looked after throughout the test, then the balls are they're gonna variate and bounce by this much or that much. Whereas back then, say if it pissed down rain overnight, but then
random.
it dried up for the day, it'd go from bouncing up this height to the next day bouncing here. Or some bits of the pitch would be bouncing up here and there, depending on where you pitch it. So it's you have no time to react to the fast cricket ball coming at you. And if it's got a variable bounce and turn and everything, it's like nearly impossible to play. You're just standing there like a mannequin.
So guys these days would do even worse.
A little bit is so it's not even that. It's in the preparation leading up to the games as well. Like these games go for 5 days, Test cricket. Back then they used to have timeless tests too, so they'd go for longer. But it was dangerous. So, like in the last couple of years in Australia, we've had just from the wickets, we've had 2 Sheffield Shield games, which is like the first class level, called off because it's too dangerous because there's been a bit of rain that hasn't been covered, or the pitch has been dangerous, so it's a bit wet underneath, and there's variable bounce, and people are getting hit on the arms and shoulders and whatever because you can't predict and play off it. It's too dangerous to play on. That would be how they played every week.
With no helmets.
No helmets, yeah. No arm guards, no chest guards. Shitty old bats. Like you think that like people are better now because they're full-time athletes, but think about the equipment they have now too. Like bats are the size of our arms. He's using thin bats. He used to have a golf ball and just literally a cricket stump, and he used to hit it against a water tank all day. So imagine how difficult that would be to keep hitting that back and forth, and not miss. He's just next level, man. Next level. No, I think he had a pretty good life. That's what he did as a kid to become good.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not how he passed his time as an adult.
Did you say that he had no life, Aaron?
No, a sad life.
He said that's a sad life.
Oh, a sad life. No, every single sports star in history and a lot of like famous artists and stuff, they literally, a lot of them do portray a sad life because that's why they're so good.
Oh yeah, it's everything.
That's like all they do.
A lot.
Yeah, that is literally like, there's like when you're picturing like moments before, there's like Tiger Woods who chipped in the Masters in 2005. I just thought like that's another moment I would really love to be at. But that dude there, John Daly. Have you guys heard of him? He's like a character, he's like one of the pretty big characters on tour. He's like one of the players who used to smoke during his rounds. He'd drink after every single night, but he was talented, and that's why he made it. And there's like a famous quote where like he was beating Tiger that day, and like he gave Tiger a bit of slack, and then Tiger said, "If I had as much talent as you would, I would never lose," kind of thing. And at that time, that's when Tiger was in his hot streak. But basically, what he was saying that like Tiger will win like maybe twice a month, so every second tournament, every third tournament, he'd be winning, which is unheard of. No one else has ever done that before. But because the other dude was so much more talented than him. Yeah, if Tiger had his talent, but just with his work ethic, he'd be unstoppable. It's sort of like how Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, they had like feuds and stuff because Kobe was talented, but because he put in more work than any other player at his time, that's how he became great. And he was always annoyed with Shaq because Shaq wouldn't put in the effort. And then that's how they ended up feuding and stuff. It wasn't because they didn't like each other. It's because Kobe's like, I need you as my teammate to do what I'm doing and more. And that's how we're going to get better.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And that's why they are the best. Like Kobe's a really good example of just putting in a ridiculous amount of work. Like it's like next level. He'd be one of the hardest trainers of all time, Kobe.
Yeah. Right, we got to that one. I asked that question, didn't we? I wasn't the Q&A in chat.
Mm.
No. Have you heard the Howie Gaines podcast, James?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
there's
I
a
wouldn't say I watch it all,
listen to
but
all of
yeah.
all. There's an episode with James Anderson you should probably listen to, but he got a tip from a fast bowler. I forget who it was, but you know how he got so good at swinging the ball. It's he's so what he used to do was in the nets. Basically, in cricket, if you have a shiny brand new ball, it's nice and light. It's easy to manipulate it, and you can shine up one side, and then it's basically going to dart out that way, dart in this way, depending on how you hold it, and throw your fingers out with the seam. So what he would do was he'd go to cricket training, but he wouldn't practice with the new ball. He'd practice with the worst ball that he could find in the bag. And then he'd get to the point where he could manipulate the worst ball, like a 50, 60 over ball, to swing, outswing, in swing, and everything. And that's how he created his craft. So, like, you know, just talking about like athletes and like how they became so good at stuff. Like, that's what he did. So,
Yeah.
and he's like, what, 40, still bowling absolute, you know, thunderbolts. And I think he might have got dropped from the test squad because of his age. But besides that,
He bowled
he's
well when the conditions suit him. He wasn't very good down. He had moments, but
the whole team
yeah.
wasn't,
I
to be
remember
fair.
hearing Conor
Oh, yeah.
McGregor said something like that when he was like actually doing things like fighting and winning, and he
When he
was
was
like,
relevant for
he's
the
like,
Not
right
just
reasons.
promoting.
yeah, no, but he was like he was practicing and like it was like an interview after that, and he's like, I don't know anything about anything. All I know is about fighting. Like I don't know about anything else. It's all I do, and it's like, that's what you have to do, like, and that's why we're here podcasting. It's all we know how to do, and
Every
we're here
week.
doing it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be the best. Joe Rogan, eat your heart out.
Yeah, well, you don't get to Joe Rogan's point if you only do 10 episodes. You know, how many's he done? Like 1,400? I don't know. It's in
Hey,
the
but at one
thousands.
point
Like,
he had 10 episodes.
exactly.
Think
And you know
about
what? He
that.
probably said at episode 9 that most people don't make it to 9 episodes.
He
Most
probably
people give
did.
up before then.
And here we are,
Now
episode 10.
it must be difficult for him being like, "Oh, this is going to be a top 1,500 episode."
Top
Yeah.
top 1,000.
Yeah. Ah.
Yeah.
I have another thing to bring up. Are you guys done skis?
Let's go. Let's say last kind of talking
Yeah, let's
topic.
finish this off with this one. Yeah.
This is gonna be a good one as well. I know I can smell it.
It's more so like homey. Like when I say homey, it's like hits me in the feels a
Hey,
little bit.
Honey. Oh,
I
yeah.
had
I was gonna do my Marge impression.
Go on then.
Please do it.
Homie.
That's pretty good.
You do more. Come on.
No, I can't do more.
Can't do
Let's
more.
move on. Get your question.
It's not a question. It's more so like a little story. I had a neighbor who lived behind my house here, and when we had those mad
Neighborino.
thunderstorms, like neighborino, yeah, like a couple months ago, we had like a tree that was like up against the fence, and it's fallen down over the back of our fence, and like snapped off, and like there's a full tree just hanging in our backyard, and I borrowed a chainsaw from work and chopped up the tree and saved the firewood, and then all the branches and all the shit stuff, I put it in the back of the ute and took it to the tip and used a tip pass and got rid of it for free. And it was this dude's tree, right? But so it was his property and it was his responsibility to get rid of it because it's come from his side. But he's like, he was, I don't know, in his late 70s, early 80s, and he had cancer. I think he had lung cancer or something. So like, and over the years, he's helped mum out with like when mum's lawnmower wasn't working, we'd borrow the lawnmower and all that sort of stuff. And so anyway, I've done all this, like, you know, and I actually just really wanted to use a chainsaw and get some firewood out of it and, you know, have a good trip to the tip with mum. And I actually put a tarp underneath the branches and everything. So in the back of the ute, when I pulled out the tarp, it all fell out at once. And we were literally like the quickest tip run to get to unload a ute in history. I wish I timed it and put it in the Guinness World Records. It was amazing. But yeah, a couple of days later, he came over in his mobility scooter because he's like, you know, struggling to walk and stuff. And he pulls out his wallet and he's trying to give me like $200 in cash to pay for like tip and stuff. I'm like, no, man, we got it for free. And he's just like, here, can I just give you some money for it? I'm like, no, don't worry about it. Like, you know, you've helped mum over the years, like, you know, just friendly neighborhood stuff. And where it hits me in the feels is like a week after that happened, he actually passed away. And like, I don't know, in my head, like after I actually had a little cry to myself, and I just thought to myself, like, the world isn't that bad. You know, like if you can do something or help someone else out, even if it's like just a little gesture or something like that, then that might be like his last thing. Like, hey, this dude next door is okay, you know. Like, it's not like, hey, I've got cancer. This world sucks. Like, you know, I don't know. And to me, I thought like as soon as when I found out that he passed away, I'm like, oh, poor guy. Like, I hope he had like a good life and everything, and that he was, yeah. I don't know. That's what I mean. Like, it just sort of hit me in the feels a little bit. I just wanted
That's
to say
really
that.
sad. Yeah. No, but
Yeah.
because like he wasn't going to use that $200 anyway. Sorry, I had to say that.
Oh,
Come on.
I thought about it and I was like, nah, I can't.
I had
Can't
to
say
say it.
that. And then
Nah,
you're just
rest
like,
in
no, fuck, I'm
peace.
just gonna
Rest
say
in
it.
peace. That guy's obviously a good neighbor and a good man.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't believe you just said that.
Uh,
You got to be brave.
I'm
This is the
sorry.
danger
Sorry.
zone. We get
The
We are
dangerous.
going to
danger
get into
zone.
the danger zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
was
like
too
that.
scared. To
no,
come to
for
danger
real.
zone, man. Just
That
jump
was
in
for the content. That was for the content. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I don't know.
yeah.
I felt like that
Nah, I
was
get
cool.
it.
No, that's
Well,
Yeah,
not cool.
pay
Like,
it forward. Pay it forward, man. Pay it forward.
yeah,
Keep
like,
everything
everyone
going on
can
about it.
do something a little nice for someone else. You never know what it might
Yeah.
do.
before
Do your good
you
deeds for the
said
day.
he
You see someone in
passed.
need.
Before you said he
Yeah.
passed and you were rejecting the 200, I was going to say like, oh no, don't worry about the 200. But do you have an Amazon Prime account? Do you know if you link it to your Twitch, you can free Prime sub?
Yeah.
But then you went and said the man passed.
Yeah.
Mm.
But coming on with that, like with Tia with floods, she actually wants to go up there and help clean out and stuff. So she might actually be going up there in a couple of weeks' time when like the roads are open and hopefully everything's going down and stuff.
Yeah, I saw some TikToks and it was like of them cleaning, and they're basically squeegeeing mud out of the bottom floor of the
Hallways.
house.
Yeah.
Like, just it's got to be like tons of mud. Like, I couldn't think of like a worse cleanup, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, it'd be terrible.
It's like
And
picture
apparently
your toddler,
it obviously
like,
stinks as well.
yeah.
It's-
Well, how are people eating? Like, that's what
Yeah.
I think about. Like, geez, it would be hard just getting access to food. Like, nothing's open. Like, no one's going to Coles. Surely, you wouldn't have thought. Like, half of it's
just
underwater.
like emergency like rations
Sleeping.
delivered. And...
You're probably lucky if you got a sleeping bag, like, on a
Yeah.
concrete floor, wooden gym or something. Like, so puts everything into perspective,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
what a happy way to end the podcast as well. No,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
there's good in the world. It's out there.
Yeah.
But
It's right here every Wednesday at 7:30.
let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, live at JChal 22's Twitch channel. And also here at Sharpies.
Yes.
Anywho, let's end it there, guys, before we get into any other morbid stories and I make any inappropriate jokes. Thank you,
That's what we're
guys.
here for.
Everyone listening, please check out JChal22 and SupaPhill. Links in the description. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Sweet.
So long.